Because being incomplete has an impact on you. So,
Oh,
now,
the impact is,
no,
are you asking me, or
yeah,
are
so
you
what,
just
what are you
talking?
saying when I'm saying all this?
Yeah, the impact is that I don't feel free.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, as happy as I should be.
Are you in a new relationship?
No.
Yeah, okay. Maybe another impact.
It's just too early to jump into that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, whatever's incomplete in old relationships, you're going to carry it into the new relationship. That's just the way it goes. Everybody get that? Whatever you got incomplete, it's not back there in the past. It shapes who you're being, your actions. Follow me? Yeah. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah, I agree. I thought when you say complete means that I have to go back to him, but I can be complete by just talking, I guess. Communicating.
Well, that is what we do. Talk. Yeah. Right. That's all we do. That's all we got. Language. So being complete doesn't mean you have to be with them.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you won't be with them either.
I was uncomfortable with that concept.
I get that. Being complete will create a space, really a space of nothing, in which then you can say how it goes from that point on. If you're incomplete, you're just reacting based on what you're incomplete about. Still with me? We good?
Yeah, got it.
You ready to do the exercise now?
You mean the whole? I'll do it with my phone.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
Okay, Frida, awesome. Let's acknowledge Frida. Stand up.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's as effective if you do it in writing. Like, instead of having the person in front of you.
Only if they're not alive.
Oh, you have to do it in person?
Why wouldn't you want to do it in person?
It's most uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel poisoned by the presence of the person.
Well, you're not getting poisoned. Okay. So there would still be. It's the incompletions that have you not want to have that conversation in person.
Is eye contact required because that other person avoids eye contact?
It's the same thing. It's the incompletions that are giving you what you're saying to me right now.
But the other person insisting on not having eye contact, then
you don't have to. Well, you're not going to like force them to
that's what I mean.
look at you, but
yeah.
you can look at them even if they're not looking at you.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it's been.
But yeah, I get it.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It takes courage and being generous. Take it over here. Let's acknowledge Artie. Let's acknowledge Artie.
What if you've done all this to someone that you're trying to repair your relationship with,
Yeah.
and they just don't want to hear it,
They just don't
and they
hear
don't
it.
want to talk to you?
So you've said everything that you need to say to be complete. Yes?
Yes.
Are you complete? No.
Because I don't have a relationship
Because you don't have the relationship with it. Who is it?
with my daughter.
Yeah. What's her name?
Lauren,
Lauren. How old, Lauren?
32.
And she's just saying she doesn't want to talk to you.
Well, there was a whole lot of things going on.
Yeah,
She's got 2 boys. We found out her husband was.
right in the mic.
We found out her husband was abusing her. She came to our house with her kids. We tried to help her, and then a week later she went back.
Yeah,
I called social services because I thought that was the right thing to do to keep an eye on the boys.
yeah.
And so since then, she hasn't talked to us. She doesn't want to talk to us, and she's keeping the boys from us. So I keep texting her, telling her I love her,
Yeah.
telling her I want to hear from the boys.
How long ago was this?
This happened in March.
This March? A couple months ago. Okay, got it.
So we called her, and she didn't pick up, so we both left her a message. We took responsibility for what we did,
Yeah,
what we thought was right,
yep,
and we apologized and asked for her to forgive us.
yep,
I didn't hear anything
Yeah.
from them. And then I wrote a letter to him, because I had written a letter when I was really upset when this happened. And then I texted him because he didn't pick up either. And I said that I apologized to him, and this was after we started the forum, that I apologized that in a time that he needed help, because he's an alcoholic, that instead of listening and having compassion and trying to help, that I said the things I said.
yeah.
And I saw that he received it but didn't read it. And so we're at a wall where,
Well, you're not at a wall. She's just not communicating back to you
right, at all.
at all. She's not.
And I know it's gonna take time.
Yeah. So just stick with me, right? So she's just not communicating back to you. That's what's happening. You're texting her, you're emailing her, you're writing letters, and she's not communicating back, right? Yeah. Okay, so being complete, what the outcome of being complete is nothing specific. So saying whatever you need to say like you did is one thing, right?
Right.
This situation where she's not talking to you right now, that's another thing. So you can say whatever you need to say, which you have, right? Yeah, so that's one thing, right? You get that? And the other thing is, what's happening is you're texting her and she's not responding. 2 different things.
Right.
You get that? Okay, so now what do you do in that situation where they're not responding? Well, I don't know, what do you think? Let's look. What can you do right now?
My husband says it's gonna take time, which I know. But meanwhile, we're not seeing our grandkids.
Yeah, I get that.
And I know they're safe,
Yeah, good.
and I know he's getting help. So, I don't know, what else to do?
Well, there's going to be a distinction there that's going to give you some freedom. And it's going to be choice. So life is the way life is right now. Right?
Right.
Yeah. The upset comes from what?
My upset
Yeah.
from sadness,
Yeah. From what though?
not having my family complete.
Yeah, and what else? Well, not having your family complete is also a story if we get in reality. Your daughter's doing X, you're doing X. So there's no not complete there in reality. So what are you saying about yourself as a mom? Anything? Look with me. So there's a lot of upset, which I totally get, for sure. Totally get that. The upset's going to come only from your story about what's happening. Something you're telling yourself. Choice is choosing reality the way things are, the way things aren't. So that'll give you some freedom around dealing with that. Okay, but you want to distinguish what is it that you're saying to yourself that's causing the upset.
Just about, let's say, my grandkids.
Only about the grandkids?
Well, and my daughter, but, you
Yeah,
know, she's an adult now and she's gonna do what she does.
yeah.
But we're very close to my grandkids.
Does that make you a certain way? Not seeing them or what you did?
It just makes me sad. And I'm trying to be, I was authentic when I left her the message and when I sent him the text.
Yeah,
Because I really did want to take full responsibility for what I did, to make things right, and to be free.
yeah.
But
So it's another good point. Being complete and doing this conversation like this, you can't have it in order to anything. You can't have this conversation be in order to. This conversation is simply only to get to nothing.
to get to nothing,
Yeah, to get to nothing.
I understand.
Put the past in the past so there's nothing there. Then you can create from that point. Okay? So, can you choose the way things are and the way things aren't?
Right now, no.
Right now, no. So what is it that you're holding on to?
The time I'm losing with my grandkids. I'm not getting any younger.
Are you making anything wrong?
No.
You're not making it wrong that you're not spending time with them?
Well, I'm not able to spend time with them.
I understand. But is that wrong?
No,
No?
it's not wrong on my end. Well, it's wrong that my daughter's not letting me spend time with them, letting us spend time with them.
Okay.
But I have no control over that.
Okay. Well, so couple things, right? I totally got what you're dealing with. But you gotta look at what's happening in reality and what you're saying about what's happening in reality. It's the only way you're gonna have any freedom. And it's your choice to be upset or not. Right? So if you give yourself some power, you know, the miracles that come out of accepting things the way they are and the way they're not, unbelievable. So choose your situation. If not for anything else other than for the power it'll give you. You deal with the reality about it. Doesn't make anything right or wrong. Doesn't justify anything. Doesn't downgrade anything you're dealing with. This is simply to give you power. What's happening and what are you making it mean? You get that? And look in this conversation if there's something new for you to acknowledge in that relationship while you do this.
Okay.
Pick your daughter or husband. Discover something for yourself. Okay? Awesome. Great, Yolanda. Hold on 1 second. We're gonna go, we gotta move on to the exercise.
Yeah, I was just going to be brief.
Hold on.
Because
John.
I'm talking about.
You gotta stand up, Bill.
It'll be brief.
Make it brief.
We missed the last seminar
Yeah.
because we were out of town. We had a gentleman by the name of Corey. What was his name?
Cody?
Cody. Cody called us, and the same situation. She explained to him because that's her primary thing right now.
I got it, yeah.
And I was feeling the same way. I was feeling hopeless. We're not going to be able to see him. But he said to create, or like imagine, maybe I'm using the wrong term, but I'm just going to use my term. To create a situation that you would like to see and like to experience. So I want to see my grandkids in my house. I want to see my grandkids in my house, sitting in my lap, laughing with my daughter, and hopefully having a nice conversation with my son-in-law.
Yeah?
And you know what? It worked. Now, the difference between me and her is I already accepted the fact what the situation is. So I'm not going to beat myself down. I'm not going to make myself suffer.
Okay.
But I'm just going to hang in there and try to be as positive as I
So
can.
support her in doing that same thing. You get that? Stand for her doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have her back. Yeah. No, because it's not Bill. Yeah, yeah. Let's acknowledge Yolanda and Bill. Okay, you ready to do the exercise? Yeah. All right, here we go. So, I'm going to give you 2 minutes each. Okay? 2 to 3 minutes each. Person A, go. I'll tell you when to switch. And remember, the person that's listening, just listen. All right? Really create this as real. This is the real person. Go. Switch if you haven't switched. Generate this like this is the real person. out with the person next to you and the actual person. Safer, easier. Easier. Okay, really? They didn't say anything back. Yeah, really good. Yeah, Caroline. Can you stand up or go like? Question.
So, and this is kind of a lingering question, but, and I've been around Landmark a while, I feel like I'm completing the same thing over and over sometimes.
Okay.
Like the things that come up, it's like, but I completed that, but it's still there as incomplete. Why is it incomplete? And then do I have the same conversation with them again?
Is theirs incomplete for you?
Well, yeah, it's like we completed it, and then the thought comes up again, and I'm like, well, darn it, it's not complete then if it's still there.
You gotta get specific.
Okay, so with my husband, for example, we used some money to pay off his student loans, right? And then I realized I was resenting that, and I said, you know what? I'm sorry. I realized I've been resenting using this money to pay off your student loans, and I feel like you should have a certain type of job now that the student loan is paid off and you spent this money.
Yep.
I'm
So
sorry.
that's happened multiple times.
Right, so it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I give it up, but then it's still there, right? And then I have the conversation, but it's still like 2 months later, circles back.
Yeah, okay.
So,
So what's wrong with completing it again?
well, then it's almost like, well, is there something wrong? Like that's what occurs, like, oh, I gave it up, but really I didn't. So I'm gonna, here it is again, and then maybe I'm not really giving it up now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, you gotta look for yourself. There may be something that you're either withholding or not saying.
Okay.
There's something there that you haven't said that would have it continue to come up like that. Because when you complete something, you complete it. Now it'll keep coming up if there's some communication or something happened, you're withholding something. The only reason we keep coming back up.
Okay.
Or, you can look at these questions you haven't forgiven X, Y, and Z for. It may not even be about the money. Maybe an incompletion about something else. And it's just showing up like the money.
Yeah, it's a symptom. It's really like you're not pulling your weight.
Ah,
Yeah. And I have to do it all.
okay, good.
Yeah. That's fun.
This?
Yeah, and cognitively I get that he does, right? Like I'm not making any more money. Well, in the working mom, anyway. But yeah, no, I haven't really been that way with it. Like it's been, yeah, I'm doing more work than you, and you're not pulling your weight.
Well, now you know what there is to say.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. Okay, so once you're complete with someone, it may be a bit unsettling. Maybe a bit unsettling. You may never have been in that place with that person before, where things are actually complete. So now what are you going to do? Well, now you have the opportunity to actually use your word and create what's next in that relationship. Doesn't mean you're going to be with that person. Doesn't mean you're not going to be with that person. Doesn't mean you're going to be friends with that person. Doesn't mean you're not going to be friends with that person. The opportunity with completion is to now be able to create what's next within the relationship between y'all. Everybody get that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. Brandon?
How do you complete something that's not a lie?
Perfect. Great question. Write a letter saying everything you would say if they were alive. And or have somebody be them. Just like we just did the practice. You're completing your conversation about this person. It's a conversation of who they are for you that you're completing. You get that? No, you don't? No, yes.
Yes.
Yes, Patty.
Does this mean you never bring this up, like she's saying, so you never bring up whatever situation occurred, and it just completely dies?
I can't, hold on one second.
Does this mean that it completely dies, like it's non-existent, you're not allowed to discuss it?
I do mean that, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Not that you're not allowed to discuss it, it just wouldn't be there to discuss if it's complete. You see? It's like literally not there in your space anymore. Yeah. You'll know you're complete when that's the case. Cool? Okay, one more. Yeah, can you cover the mic? Thanks, sir.
I'm just wondering if it's possible to be complete and have the other person stay incomplete.
And stay.
Like, and feel like you've said your piece, and I have, and I'm probably just projecting this based on our past relationship history, but I'm guessing that when I have this conversation, and even if I get complete for myself, that the person I need to have the conversation with is going to remain incomplete with whatever they're dealing with. Does that make sense?
It does, I get it. I don't know why you would think that, and you could say that to them.
Mm-hmm.
You could say that. Hey, I think you're going to remain incomplete in this conversation, but my commitment is that we both get complete.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, Shay? Last thing I want you to share with your partner is, now that you've practiced getting this complete, when are you going to go have this conversation to actually get this complete? And what's the possibility you're going to have that conversation inside of? If you have a question, just raise your hand. Yeah.
The last part.
Yeah. So what's the possibility you're going to have the conversation inside of? So you're going to have this conversation inside of the possibility of being loving, being generous, being open. The conversation is going to happen inside of that possibility. Okay, so when are you going to have the conversation to get complete? And what's the possibility? Okay, 30 seconds each. Go.
Switch. If you have not yet switched with your partner, please switch.
Okay, acknowledge your partner. Acknowledge your partner. Okay, guys, okay. Is it a question? Gary, can you give RT the mic? Or Emily, thanks.
Hello?
Yes, stand up.
So you said,
Hold on, guys. Sit up.
you said, I asked earlier if I have to do that in person. You said, yes, you have to do that in person instead of writing. How about on the phone?
You're so funny.
No, it's not funny. It's like there's distance also, and there is. I'm very unsafe with that person. I'm not.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
It's anger and violence and all of that.
Yeah, so I get it. So they live a long way away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, call them up.
So that's still authentic enough to be on.
Well, you'll know after the conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
We'll call them. All right. Yeah. Good. And I acknowledge you for taking that on. Good. Okay. Thanks. So I have Emily Gordon here from the Family Division, and she has an announcement about the Young Person and Teen Forum that's coming up. So let's acknowledge Emily and bring her up. Might be a little high.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Like you said, my name is Emily Gordon. I lead for the Family Division here in Orange County, so I lead introductions to young people and teens. And what I'm committed to is I'm committed that young people and teens know that they have a say in how their life is going to go. So how many people know that we have a young person's forum coming up at the end of July? Anybody heard about that? Okay, we do. It is July 27th, 28th, and 29th. Anybody heard about our teen forum at the end of January? Anybody heard about that one? Okay, January 26th, 27th, and 28th is our teen forum. We do our young person's forum one time a year here in Orange County. We do our teen forum one time a year here in Orange County. So who in here knows somebody in their life between the ages of 8 and 17? Okay, good. So what I'd like is for you to do an exercise with me. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Now imagine what your life would have been like if you had done the Landmark Forum and had these distinctions in your life when you were 8. What would it have been like with your family, your parents, brothers and sisters? What would your relationships with your friends and peers have been like? What would school have been like? What would your romantic relationships have been like? What would your job or career have been like? What would your relationships to problems have been like? Now open your eyes. So I'd like somebody to share. What did you see there? Yeah, Lucy, if you want to come up to the mic real quick.
I actually often look at this, and what I see is that my life would have been totally different if I had been able to be introduced to this at a much younger age.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I want you to know that the Landmark Forum for Teens and the Landmark Forum for Young People, they are not what we would say junior versions of the Landmark Forum. We do all the same distinctions in the Landmark Forum for Teens and Young People that we do in the Adult Landmark Forum. We're just dealing with the issues that are important to them in their lives. And we even do some of the distinctions from the advanced course in the Landmark Forum for Young People and Teens. The A landmark forum is an environment in which teens and young people get to think for themselves, and they get to see the value of being coachable while creating and inventing their lives. So, what I have here is I have this half sheet. It has all the upcoming opportunities to invite young people and teens to introductions. I'm going to have this at the back of the room, so you can come and pick it up at the end of the night. Yeah, Zen.
Can I share real quick what my son got?
Yeah, please.
Hi, this is one of my favorite stories at a landmark. So my son was just about 8 years old, and he was getting bullied at school every day. And I was trying to listen to him. I had already done landmark, and I was like, what did you tell the principal? Did you put the kid in a headlock? Did you push him away? Did you run the other direction? And one day he said to me, Mom, you're not listening to me. And I got it. I was trying to fix him, right? And I was, because of landmark, I got, oh, okay, I was trying to fix him. And I said, okay, I promise, I'm just gonna listen. So tell me what it's like for you. And he said, he started to tell me, and I experienced in my mind's eye that I was sitting down in a giant mud puddle with him. And I just listened to him, what it's like for this kid to kick him and hit him, and how he tries to run away and he comes after him. I didn't say anything. And then finally, he finished. I said, is there anything else? And he told me a little bit more. And I said, is there anything else? And then finally he said, no. So he was done, right? He was out. And I looked at him in the eye and I said, Ben, I said, Ben, you must be wondering why Mommy and Daddy are sending you to a school where this happens to you every day. Like, well, how could we do this? And he's like, yes! So he felt gotten. And then I said, I want you to know this is not okay, and this is gonna stop. And I don't know how, but I promise you it's gonna stop. So he said, okay, and that was it. I didn't try to fix him or anything. Then he did the landmark forum, and on Monday, I swear to God, he came home shiny as a brand new penny. His face was all lit up, and I said, Ben, what happened? And he said, Mom, John and I made a deal. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I found out that I was saying bad words about his karate. And so we made a deal. I won't say bad words about his karate, and he won't do his karate on me. He said, John has a point of view too, you know. At 8 years old, he got that. He got point of view. And now he's in high school, and his kids call him the coolest cat in class. They say, nothing bothers you. How does nothing bother you? He wears camel all head to toe. He's got hair down to here. He probably gets picked on every day. Nothing bothers him. And he's getting straight A's, and he knows he wants to be a doctor, and we never have to bug him about his homework. He's the most, he's my guru now in nutrition. He's amazing. So it's like, if you want your kids to have whatever they want in life, this is the best thing. And I have to say, because my husband led introductions, his biggest pet peeve is that parents would bring them, the kids would get enrolled, and then the parents would not pay for it. So if you bring your kids to this, you better be prepared to pay for it, because it's like offering them dessert and everything they want and then not giving it to them. So be prepared to pay for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Zen, for sharing that. You did almost all my work for me. So you said pretty much exactly what I was going to say. When you bring them, you want to be prepared, because almost all kids and teens want to do the landmark forum. And when they come out to meet you at the end of the introduction, you want to be prepared to support them in registering them, rather than having them walk away with a disappointment that they can't do it. And when you're sharing with them about the landmark forum, you want to share what you got for yourself rather than sharing what you see possible for them. Because the truth is, you don't know what's possible for them. You have no idea. So you share with them that this was a gift that you got, and it's now something you want to give to them. Sometimes people want to, they want to bring their friends, they want to bring their cousin, they want to bring their next door neighbor. That's all great. We would love to have them, and we need to have a parent on the premises. So every young person and teen who comes to an introduction has to have a parent on the premises. And some of you might be interested in assisting with the family division. That's what I do. I assist with the family division. I'm not a staff member. This is just something that is my self-expression. And it's an extraordinary opportunity to get trained in the distinctions of family. And as a parent, you learn how to be with young people and teens. And if you have a commitment to the children on our planet, this is an opportunity for you to express that. So, there should be a half sheet under your chair if you want to reach down and pick that up. It looks like this. Raise your hand if you can't find it or it disappeared or something like that, or if you need a pen. So there's a couple things on here. You can mark if you just have questions. You can mark if you have kids who you'd like to bring to an introduction. You can mark if you're interested in assisting. So just take a couple minutes. I want everybody to fill one out and just write your name at the bottom. So I'll just give you a couple minutes to do that. Yes. 8 to 17. So